Good morning, Grumpy Grillers. Today we're going to be doing a Mike Mills style pork butt. I'll be making a mop sauce, and we've got the pork butt in the fridge right now, dry brining. So let's get after it. Tonight we're going to be getting the pork butt ready to go on the smoker tomorrow. I'm following Mike Mills' recipe. He recommends tenderizing it with a fork, then covering it in rub and throwing it in the fridge overnight until you're ready to throw it on the cooker. So that's what we're going to do. I've got a 8.5 pound Swift pork butt that I picked up at BJ's. If you want to come in and look. So this pork butt can be found at most of the big box stores, Sam's Club, BJ's, Costco. When you pick these out, try and look for the money muscle, which is on the opposite side of the blade bone, which is over here. You can actually feel it in the package. This is the money muscle. You want a lot of striations of fat, and this actually looks pretty good. The more fat you've got in these, the better. And then for this, I'm going to leave the fat cap intact. I might cut a little bit of this fascia out, but let's get it opened up and get started. I'll put this. So really you don't need to trim this at all. I mean, you can take the little pieces off that might burn. You know, I've cut out the money muscle before. Harry Sue has a couple videos on how to trim up a pork butt. You can take this fat cap off. I mean, you can see it's not very deep, so I think I'm going to leave it. Alright, so a little bit of slather.
What is the slather?
This is just yellow mustard. And the sole purpose of this is so that your rub sticks to the pork butt. It's not going to flavor the meat at all. I like using it. So Mike says to use a fork to tenderize the meat. So I'm just going to start poking holes about every inch. I've never done this before, so I'm interested to see how this works. Poke the money muscle. Get in here. And that's mostly bone there. And do the sides. He doesn't really say how best to tenderize it, so, or what way to. So the rub I'm going to use tonight is actually Mike's recipe. It's magic dust. I took it right from his book. So we're going to sprinkle this on, poke it with a fork again, and then throw it in the fridge for tomorrow. So this version that I did is the his hot version. slide around as much. This is a huge piece of meat, so don't worry too much about over seasoning, but it should poke it with the fork again. Go in the opposite way I did the first time. Actually, I can feel a noticeable difference just in the first time I poked it. So this is the fat cap side. Tomorrow we're going to try cooking on my cooker fat side up. I'm going to touch that up a little bit where I grabbed it. There. And we're going to fork it again. Basically poking through the fat cap. There. Get our B&B charcoal. Okay, so this is our pork butt. We've got it, or had it dry brining overnight per Mike Mills recipe. This is the book I'm using. The rub is Magic Dust, basically the hot version. I haven't touched it. I just threw it in the fridge overnight after seasoning it. So right now I'm going to carry it out there. I'm going to put it on the cooker fat side up, and I'm going to put the bone facing the fire. So let's get that out there and get it cooking. put it sideways right now and see how it starts to cook. If it starts to dry out, I'll rotate it, but that's where I'm going to leave it for right now. I'm going to close the lid. So we've got a water pan in the cooker. We're cooking on red oak as usual. I'm going to make a mop sauce for it, and about an hour and a half in, we'll start mopping it every hour. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to be making our mop sauce. So our mop sauce consists of vinegar, a quart of vinegar, a cup of water, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and then kosher salt, chili powder, sugar, cayenne, and cayenne pepper. All that's in here. Basically what you're going to do is dump it all in this pot without dumping it all over the counter. And then you bring it to a boil. So I'm just going to set it right on the cooker while it's cooking. And then we'll have our nice mop sauce. And we'll keep it warm right outside since it's about 13 degrees today. And then we'll just put that in there. Get myself a stirring stick. I'm just going to mix all this in here. And then this is going to be what I would normally spritz, but this is going to be our mop sauce. And I have my trusty mop, which I've never used before, so this should be fun. So let's get this out on the cooker. Let's get after it. This is where we're at about an hour in. I just mopped it. I put a little tray underneath so that I've got I don't dirty up my cooker. I turned it around too. It's getting a little warm on one side, so I turned it around so it doesn't burn. But that's where we are an hour in. Here we go. Close it back up. There, it's about 11 o'clock or 11:30. We'll mop this again at 12:15, and then we'll temp it, see where we're at. So, catch you back then. Okay, about 250. Come on, adjust. There we go. I'll put you guys here. We're going to check on this. Take this probe, stuff it right here in the middle. We are shut that, make sure it's got enough cable. We are, let's see, at 160. And keep an eyeball on it. We're going to keep it running at the same temperature. I'm not going to wrap it. Mike says in his recipe it doesn't say anything about wrapping it. So we're going to leave it right where it is. Keep an eyeball on it. Try and keep this thing from getting too wet. I think it can take snow. Should be able to. And maintain the fire and see how she turns out. Okay, so we're holding about 250 out here. Right on the nose. Clear smoke. But I've been having issues with my firebox today. Only because my splits are too long. So what I've been having problems with is, grab a glove, is putting too much wood in the firebox for what I need. This is what I got in there right now. So this firebox is 20 by, I think it's a little longer than 20. So right now I'm going to try and put some longer pieces in there like this, and then my shorter ones I put sideways like so, just like that. That's how I like to run it. But my splits are a little long today. I've been trying to cut them up with the Sawzall, but it beats it up pretty good. But that's about where we run it in terms of a 250 degree fire. I'm about to open that in about 15 minutes, but I've got it dialed in about half damper. Once I get it where I want it in terms of temperature, and usually I can add one of these little splits every half hour or so with little or no spike in temp. Okay, so it's about 5:30. She's looking awful dark. I don't know if you can see, probably can't, but we're gonna get this off the cooker. She's temping around 190, but it's probing very easy. There's very little resistance. None on this side. 0. So I think it'll rest and raise up 5 degrees and we'll be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and yank it, and I'll get you back when we're pulling it. Okay, we pulled this at 5:30. It was temping at 189 degrees. It's a little darker than I would like, but I think we're going to be able to pull it. Plenty tender. I'm going to take the blade bone out of it. There we go. That's a sign it's done. You want to try a piece?
Duh.
Is it good? It's not too dark.
Mm-mm.
Puppy, you want some? Okay, that's enough.